Alright, I just wanted to do this to add to a video that I made and posted to YouTube. Now that I look back on it, it seemed like I misquoted myself or something. I did not really get any detailed videos of the repairs of this changer. It seemed like I did, but I don't think it. Apparently, I did not. Now for the original video that I made for YouTube. Alright, I'm going to do a quick demonstration of this player. As you can see, it's one of the rarer models around, I think. Perhaps. Let me unbuckle you and let y'all look at this while I'm thinking about it. I never have shown the cabinet on YouTube. This is one of the chest models that Magnavox had to offer at the time. It looks like this. And of course this hinge is split. I can show you the reason for that. Or that corner. It's got all that tension from that thing that helps hold the lid up, and speakers are in the lid. See the gadget there. And try to get this buckled up while I'm videoing. There we go. We'll demonstrate an album first. I'll play you an excerpt of a song. You know how YouTube is. You get copyright nailed for just about anything. In fact, I should have picked out an album by a local group, but I didn't. First off, to operate this, you turn this to phono, which I did that off camera. As you can see, the phono works great now. I did a detailed series of videos that sort of showed how I repaired this. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure how I did it myself. These were notorious for being recalled, for lack of better terms, because they would break down so much. And they would just replace the whole unit and probably put a Micromatic or something in there from the 70s. This is like around about a 1972 player, from what I gather. And this is how 45 is played. Notice there is no speed selection. There is no selection to change the position of the tone arm. Watch this. Of course, the reject button works when you're on the record too. Of course, if you had a stack of records, that would fall down one at a time. The way that works with size selection and so forth is, if you notice, there's a pin right here, kind of thing. It's a button actually, and that button drops the thing down inside the turntable that engages the doohickey. That switches the idler wheel, which is run through this corner, to the 33 position if a record falls down and hits that button. See, it clears the 45 adapter. That means that you cannot use one of these inserts to play 45s on these record players because it'll think it's a 33. And so, in summary, size selection and so forth is all done by this button. Over here, of course, we got the radio part of the deal. And got the ceiling fan on. I'm sorry if it's kind of strobing on you all.
Receiving commute.
As you can see, that's the FM radio right there.
Say
Quick pass because copyrights have gotten me before, and there's plain FM as in non-stereo. There is no stereo indicator light on this model for some reason. I guess they wanted to cheapen out a little bit, but they did include stereos. The AM, it's around about midnight here tonight. A very quick band scan. So, in ending, what I'm going to say is that you can watch the rest of the video and learn how I attempted to repair the Maestro record changer. Or you can tune that right now, and if you want to tune that right now, that's fine. Thanks for watching. More to come later, and God bless to you. For the rest of you, stay tuned. And just in case you're wondering, this is round about how many watts this player uses when a record is playing. Sometimes it creeps up about 15 or so watts when there's a lot of bass in the music. And I'll turn that off and show you the radio. It uses around 4 watts or so. Lots of equipment nowadays uses that much in standby, if not more. And I mean around about 15 watts. Anyway, what I was trying to say, the speed selection is taken care of by an assembly that's mostly under the platter. And what it does is step the idler wheel, it's up on the other side of this motor, and change it by basically the hole size on the record. The 45 drops if it doesn't and does not press that button that's right here when it drops. When a 33 drops, it presses that button and changes the position of the idler wheel, which is kind of an interesting feature, but it's a little too complicated in ways, because most of the players that use the switch, or they do that by a knob, but there might be some that I'm not familiar with. I think it's called a magic mind. Some people call it a tragic mind, and it may have automatic speed selection, but I'm not sure. I've never had one. And I'm getting low battery on this camera too, so who knows how long we're going to go. But anyway, I'm cleaning up the cabinet, and this player's had several hours of, well, 2 or 3 or so maybe of playing both albums in 45s, so it's doing just right. I'll like to demonstrate it on the album pretty soon. And finish up cleaning this cabinet. This is pretty neat. Alright, so it seems like the battery recovered a little bit on its own on the camera, so I can do a video. I don't know if I've done any kind of walk around on this, but there you go. That's about what this looks like, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like this on YouTube, for sure. Okay, so that's supposed to be the 45 position. You see, that didn't happen. As far as I know. I have to press that one.
For your insurance exchanges or affiliate.
Football is back, and so are we. Whether it's cracking on Brady. Bob Brady is what? Baker. Does he have a good enough arm? No. OBJ. OBJ, it's not working. And even those rookies. It's amazing. When the NFL hits. On Fox Sports Radio. Welcome to AutoZone. Dealing with battery problems? We've got. Let's start with a free battery test. If you just need a free charge, we can help with that too. If it's time for a new battery, we've got you covered. We're the only place you can find Durable. Batteries more consumers choose. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination, where health is always in stock. Claims based on a proprietary consumer study and data from NPD 2019. North shippers keep switching to Schneider for their recovery, and Schneider is ready to help with yours. Truck drivers, rev up your recovery with Schneider, a time-tested carrier with miles, money, and expanded tender and intermodal options are available. Search all Schneider driving jobs in your area, many with limited-time sign-on bonuses, and explore new remote driver orientation options at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com. Jason Smith and Mike Harmon are dropping knowledge like this.
And there is no place that simplifies the Jets. Maybe the Jets could make a run here. Oh, the Jets got a little bit of man the football. Hey, we got the Niners in a 3rd and 31. All right, we're going to get the ball back, great field position, and then we're back.
You have to think the Niners are just be playing.
Yeah, that play simplifies the Jets, and you give up first down on a 3rd and 31 on a running play.
Alright, trying to start with this Maestro record changer. It's the Magnavox type. And yes, it's the one that's famous for recall. No, not recall, but I'm just going to start over. Alright, I'm trying to service this Maestro, I think is the name of it, Magnavox record changer. And it's got one of the strangest symptoms. Right now I want to drop a record that way because it's easiest to do. I'll let y'all take a look at this. I'll press the reject to start it. Of course, I get it turns off in the right spot. So I'm going to do that for right now. And I'll show you the album. See, it's dropping in too far on the album, and course, now for now it's grease. Got a lot of gunky grease on it. So that's installing this. You'll probably solve by that. I'll let y'all get a shot of it turning off. And there you go. Thanks for watching. More to come later, and God bless. I hope I can get some advice on this issue. Alright, here we are about a week later, and I haven't done really any degreasing of the turntable, but I liberally coated a bunch of parts with some zoom spout, and the idler wheel. And now this is the second time I've done this. I have put belt dressing on it, and the traction improves big time. I don't know what it is, or if it's recommended, but I've had it improve big time. And even with the oil, I was still getting the jam when I pressed the reject button, but as you can see, with all that extra traction, it's running its cycle. But problem number 2 that I'm still facing is it's dropping in the wrong place. Reject on its own is kind of tricky also. And I got a nav flying around. As you can see, it goes all the way over to the label. The 45 adapter, it's a special kind. As you can see, I know you're not supposed to handle these records this way, but so what? Tennessee Ernie Fords are very common. So is this one. I'm just going to go ahead and drop it. It'll drop on its own, but it's real tricky to load this changer with one hand. As you can see, it's spinning faster. I've got to raise that arm, so now we do it to pull some trickery. But you can see it's landing in the wrong place. That's the progress so far on this changer. Alright, as for that corner back there, I'm likely going to buy some L-shaped brackets that look about like this. They make such a thing. And I got a feeling places like Lowe's probably have them. They're not the ones that would make a shelf, but the ones that look like this are flat, like that. I've seen them on Amazon. I just don't want to buy 50 of them for one project. And I'm thinking about putting some wood glue on this corner, because you see what's causing that problem is the is that hinge thing there, or the stopper or whatever that's called. It's got a spring in it, and it puts a lot of pressure on that area. If you kind of push down, you can sort of alleviate that pressure, but it takes a lot of pushing down to relieve that pressure. In other words, it takes a lot of pressure to relieve that pressure. You might say I'm at a loss for words right now. The whole time I've had this player, I want to guess about 10 days now, it never shut off properly, or it never landed in the correct spot on a record. I do something that accidentally takes the spring off, and I can't figure out where it belonged, so I just deleted it completely. It was somewhere over in under this end of the tone arm, or maybe down around through there. But for the first time in my hands, this player has played a record correctly. Earlier it started just right on the LP, but it ended too soon. But I've adjusted that rod that pushes over into the equipment under that gear that resides under the turntable. So I would expect it is probably alright. And right now I got that arm raised up, so it'll just repeat play that record. Manually reject it, and you see that it turns off. Alright. Anyway, what I was trying to say, the speed selection is taken care of by an assembly that's mostly under the platter. And what it does is step the idler wheel, it's up on the other side of this motor, and change it by basically the hole size on the record. The 45 drops if it doesn't and does not press that button that's right here when it drops. When a 33 drops, it presses that button and changes the position of the idler wheel, which is kind of an interesting feature, but it's a little too complicated in ways, because most of the players that use the switch, or they do that by a knob, but there might be some that I'm not familiar with. I think it's called a magic mind. Some people call it a tragic mind, and it may have automatic speed selection, but I'm not sure. I've never had one. And I'm getting low battery on this camera too. So, who knows how long we're going to go. But anyway, I'm cleaning up the cabinet, and this player's had several hours of, well, 2 or 3 or so, maybe, of playing both albums in 45s, so it's doing just right. I'll have to demonstrate it on the album pretty soon. And finish up cleaning this cabinet. This is pretty neat. Alright, so seems like the battery recovered a little bit on its own on the camera, so I can do a video. I don't know if I've done any kind of walk around on this, but there you go. That's about what this looks like, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like this on YouTube, for sure.